federal judge in Chicago says a top Border Patrol agent was lying Thursday when he said he was hit in the head with a rock before deploying tear gas on protesters.
There are people who feel empowered and emboldened to just make bald-faced lies,
accusing Trump's handpicked attorney and prosecutor of taking an indict first and investigate second approach.
I want to hop into a CNN panel covering a plethora of court cases the Trump administration is involved in, from their corruption to their failures, and how he is faring in each of them. So if you can, take a moment, leave us a like on the video. It helps us out a ton. We really want to get to 30,000 subscribers, and let's just get right to the breakdown.
A federal judge in Chicago says a top Border Patrol agent was lying Thursday when he said he was hit in the head with a rock before deploying tear gas on protesters. Judge Sarah Ellis called the government's portrayal of Chicago untrue, finding the evidence presented by that agent simply not credible. In another embarrassment for Trump's DOJ this week, a man who threw a Subway sandwich at an officer in Washington has been found not guilty of the only misdemeanor assault charge that he was charged with. And prosecutors were initially seeking a felony charge for that man, and they failed to secure an indictment. Lastly, a magistrate judge is slamming prosecutors in James Comey's trial for their handling of evidence, accusing Trump's handpicked attorney and prosecutor of taking an indict first and investigate second approach.
What we're seeing is actual political weaponization in the DOJ, but also in these different agencies like ICE, right? And we're seeing what it looks like when it actually plays out, especially in court. Again, kind of dispelling the notion that this ever happened under Joe Biden or Democrats, but the courts are just in on the conspiracy. But what we're seeing with ICE is kind of what the left warned of: chaos and violence unfolding in the streets, aggression, escalation from the agents, where these Gestapo-like officers are going against civilians even. We're seeing children, veterans, the elderly alike zip-tied, targeted, harassed, detained. We've seen rubber bullets. We've seen all kinds of things. Women pulled out of cars in elementary school pickup lines, ICE pointing guns at Congress members. Like, it's actual insanity unfolding. This is why public opinion in America has turned on Trump largely, and they're even going far to lie in court about their behavior to try and justify it, only to be caught there as well.
You said on October 30 that from what you have seen, all of the uses of force by yourself and the men under your command have been more than exemplary, your words. You still stand by that?
Yes.
So when you tackled Scott Blackburn, as shown in the video marked for identification as Exhibit 8, that use of force on your part was more than exemplary?
Objective form lacks foundation.
As we talked earlier, that was not a reportable use of force.
Not a use of
placed
force.
him in under arrest. I didn't
Gotcha.
tackle him. I placed him under arrest.
Gotcha.
The judge looked at that and said, that's a lie. There's a video.
And you can look up the video yourself to see how preposterous of a lie that was. Just look up the names he mentioned. But we see this left and right. The agent who tackled the lady, the agents who detained George Redis for days, a U.S. veteran, right, who pointed the gun at the Asian American Congress member, at the protester, and said, bang, bang, you're dead, liberal. All of this is being swept under the rug by Trump and MAGA. Trump saying, well, I don't think the ICE agents are going far enough, as each of them pretend that the brown people brought it on themselves by being brown. It's human rights violations unfolding in the streets of America, as millions cheer it on or shrug it off or turn their face to it because they're brainwashed to think that brown people are the reason they're behind in life and not the greedy billionaires.
Part of this challenge is there are people who feel empowered and emboldened to just make bald-faced lies, and then there's people like this young man who was the security guard at a farm where there were undocumented workers on the farm, and he's like, here's my passport, let me just get it for you, I'm a U.S. citizen. And they didn't care. Yeah. Just dragged him out, brought him in, put him into custody. Yeah. He was detained for 2 or 3 days. So those of us who have to now prove that we are legitimately U.S. citizens don't feel that confidence that the American justice system is going to be treating all of us equally.
It truly creates a different experience for Black and brown people in this country. It's a feeling and experience that is almost unforgivable to me, to many. in terms of those who proudly, openly supported this for one reason or the other, voted even for it to happen, as they were warned that ICE would do just this, create this kind of America for these kinds of people, to now just sit back, shrug your shoulders at it happening, cheer it on, or say, well, I don't support it, but you never speak out against it the way you were speaking out against wokeness under Joe Biden or whatever. Like, these are real terrors that are unfolding for real Americans in real American cities just because of the way they look, the color of their skin, which, like, we shouldn't forgo the fact that it has happened at a level and, like, on a police level in a very subtle way on jobs and applications. But, like, this openness with Tom Homan going on Fox News saying, yes, we will use your skin color as reason to stop you. It just feels like America had moved past that, even if only slightly. And MAGA happily voted for us to go right back into it just so they could pick up the crumbs from the rich guy tax cuts.